Just a second, let's see if we are live or not. Mm, to test a bit. I need to see if I can be heard. Just a second. Okay, so it is. I can be heard. Okay. Good. So it's been a while since I've done a live. I have been working a lot behind the scenes, and also taking some rest because I needed to recharge for a bit or two. And I also had lots of things to deal um, with some unseen things. But, anyways, now, um, the title of this live is Entrepreneurship in the Age of Chaos. How to stay unshakable, aligned, and profitable when the world shifts daily. Um, well, um, I know it has been quite a while since we haven't done anything, meaning on YouTube. I'm kind of I'm kind of sick of in the entire social media plane. Like, I've been researching a lot these 2 months, and it's chaos. Like, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter is long lost even before Elon Musk took it. But anyways, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the mainstream social media platforms, they're fucked. And even YouTube is very hard. It's very hard with YouTube to reach audiences, no matter the industry you are on. So I have been doing a lot of research on current social media platforms and what they could truly provide to the entrepreneurs, businesses, professionals, freelancers, and so on. Also, LinkedIn and Medium, and I don't know. I've done a lot of research on all of these. Anyways, they're down. It's very hard to get to organic audiences, no matter what you do. Even if you play it right, even if you, I don't know, do all the traditional and classic stuff, no matter how they say it's updated. So this isn't to consider that, well, if social media is not there anymore, like it's there but it's not helping me. Even with paid ads, it's fucked. So, or paid traffic, it's fucked because they put you before people through your ads, your paid ads, like for traffic, for brand awareness, for whatever the fuck it is. However, they force before people who just scroll past and not even. In the past, it was between 5 and 8% conversion from ads to truly fish out your audience. Now it's not even 1%, but you pay for it. And businesses pay lots of money on advertising, for brand awareness, for product awareness, for conversion, sales conversions, and whatnot. And the research I've done, it's a bit saddening if you think of how it used to be and how it is now. Anyways, it's not to consider now what then. If we are not on these social media platforms, what then? We need something. How do we reach the audience? Well, however, this is a sneak peek of what I've done, among other things, in backstage. However, yesterday I have been to, this is the exact title that I have used for the live, to a conference where entrepreneurs went to. It was held by a political party, and their members from the entrepreneurship environment were invited. Of course, members of the party. And the title is exactly as I have. We have the live titled, and entrepreneurship in the age of chaos. And that was something to partake. I've never fancied politics because, in my opinion, with all due respect to all political parties around the world, and if someday one of the politicians, members of parties, will watch, of course, people will watch my lives and my content, they may get offended, but nowadays politics is worse than the past. It's more, it's not a whore with two faces anymore. That was in the past. Today is like a fucking orgy. As political parties, I'm not naming any political party. I'm just saying that left me with a bitter taste. It wasn't what I presume to be. Like, well, you gather people here, you want to hear their problems as entrepreneurs, and to give them solutions in a way. As a party, a modern party, nowadays party, political party, when you have so many fucking members and so many people have come to attend that conference, you don't take only the law and all that is for making new laws, and that's step one. Like, what do we need to change, to regulate in the law, to propose as a party in the law, to help the entrepreneurship environment? That's okay. That's doable. That's very welcome. However, for those of you who know laws, especially who work in this industry, senators and whatever, political people, you know that no matter if a law is passed, it will take time to be enforced, because these movements won't be in emergency getting live and useful for the people. It may take 12 months, it may take several years, like it is in lawsuits. You may take a lawsuit, but it won't happen overnight to win it or to lose it or whatever. It won't last 1 hour, 1 day, and it's done. No, it can take 12, 15, 5 years, 12 years, 15 years doesn't, nobody knows how long it will take. And of course, it's not a guarantee that you will win or lose, no matter if you have what it takes to win. Anyways, so if we have this step one, have a conversation with the entrepreneurs on what we can do for you as a party when it comes to governmental stuff, laws, projects of laws, and whatever else. The second step is the one that was missing and was truly out of place. Like, well, these people came here because they have validated the situation. You have flagged entrepreneurship in chaos, in the era of chaos. So they have those problems now, no matter what kind of problems they have, because different businesses have different angles of problems. What do you do now for them? They can't wait 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 20 years. They cannot. They've already went through hell. And if they have replied with their presence at your fucking conference, it means they need help now, not a project in the future if it's gonna be passed, and then if it's gonna be, when it's gonna be enforced. So this is something that is lacking nowadays. And it's something that should be used and should be applied to help the business environment, the entrepreneurship environment. Businesses need help now. They don't need help when the war has passed. Many heroes arrive, but nobody is there during the war. They take the war on their own, and whoever goes further, fine. Whoever dies on the front, that's fine either. It's on you. Yeah. So businesses need help now. Entrepreneurs need help now. And they need guidelines now. What do they do now? If the state, the government, the whatever, the economic environment offered by the state they're trading in, their economic agents in the market of that country, if the state cannot help the entrepreneur and the entrepreneurship environment, how can we help as a party, as people, this environment now? Because this is what I don't like about politics. We speak. We give some pain points to attract, to lure the people, and then we fuck them. And this is how 5 years and 10 years for those elected and placed in active official mandate. How to do the modern way? How to do it the modern way? What is it that we can help the entrepreneurs now? They need help now, not a month later, not as I have said previously. You as an entrepreneur, a business person, a freelancer, a professional, a leader in a person in a leading in a leadership position, you need help now. You are facing the war now. Your financial war, your instability, your chaos war, it's now. It's not, you need solutions yesterday, because today you already need to apply them, and to at least keep yourself afloat till a new set of strategies help you, and conducting yourself with the flow of market and how it is going in your own industry, because different businesses have different industries, different services, different products, different ideal client uh, target, your audience target. You don't have the same people that you are targeting with your products and services. So you need help now. Can you wait 1 month, 10 months? You are already in panic now. So if the law in your state can't help you now, but they are not taking, they are trying to take measures, some parties, some of the political environment people with their parties are trying in your country to get things up and running, to help that environment, that industry, that whatever. And it is welcomed, but that's a long run train, let's say. You cannot wait for that. Not because you do not want to wait, it's because you cannot wait anymore. You have expenses to pay, you have a number of employees to pay, you have operations, well, expenses, I've said, you have operational expenses, you have you need lots of things that need money now, need solutions now for your business to at least be kept afloat till better market conditions in your industry are coming and helping you give you that higher boost. And nobody does anything about it. This is the painful part. And if I wanted to take the discussion on solutions, they don't allow things like this, and this is a lot of this is another saddening part, that though new parties arise, it's just a new thing, new title, new, a little bit of added missions, let's say, a bit of conversion, but the same thing is underneath. They do the same thing. It's just their own wants. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody wants to truly help the business environment. And then we say, why fucking economics and businesses collapse all the fucking time? Why? And another thing that really pissed me off, and this needs addressed. How come you only wait for the state to change things for you? Like new laws, new flexible, like if you have money, your business brings you money, brings you profit, would you fucking care you need to pay, I don't know, X amount of taxes? I think you start caring how much taxes you pay when your fucking business isn't making money. But you still need to pay those fucking taxes. This is the root problem. Nobody addresses it. We need to change businesses. Businesses that, no matter how good they are, no matter the industry, how good the niche is for you, especially for those of you who have chosen to make a business, to conduct a business in a niche, in an industry, on a theme that you are passionate about. You consider your also your mission on this earth through your services, your products, your whatever. You need a new guidance. You are working on the wrong models. No matter if you are passionate, no matter how good at a la carte you are working on. It's the wrong business model, no matter how much you are pushing it. It won't do you justice, no matter how well intended you are, no matter what you do, if you are keeping the wrong business model. And I was saying in the conference that corporations, so the greatest companies, corporate environment, they are taught to do business. They don't mix business with pleasure, and they don't mix business with acquaintances. They don't hire people as a charity case and let's see what happens. This is a very bitter thing to say. This is a very harsh thing to say, especially one as me saying it. But when you are in a business, you are not a fucking charity. You are for profit, no matter how you fucking say it. When you apply to form a business, it is, the definition is for profit. That means you will make money out of it. And what you do with your share of the money, that's your fucking business. It's personal. If you want to reinvest it, if you want to keep it after taxes, it's each one of you's situation. If you want to do charity, form a fucking charity. That's a for non-profit. Okay? And there you can hire people to help them. This is a number one mistake. It's harsh what I'm saying. I've done that in the past. My family has done that in the past. And many of us have done that. Hiring people because we feel them, they would be good, we would help them and they help us, they seem good people, and then they fuck you. And you pay them for nothing. So this is a number one rule that big companies, that's why they rule or they keep afloat. No matter, it's a matter of how they grow their profit or how the percentage of it, but they are still in profit. Like this year, one of them finished with last year they finished with $600 million in profits, and this year, well, we have a decrease of $200 million, but we have still made $400 fucking million. And this is a red code for us because we have lost $200 fucking million from last year till this year. But they are not in losses. They're stacking profits after profits. And we say, well, they have better taxes, a better set of taxes than us. We are small ones. And they know how to do business. When they hire somebody, they are as good people, we are considered good people, we are considered, and then we get fucked because we are good people, nice people, and whatever else. So as a normal person but doing business, you won't ask you will look at the CV for the job position you have listed that you need staff on, and then you'll look on their CV, their resume, their whatever they bring. You will discuss with them what makes you a good fit for our business. What is not a raw and sharp and direct and cold question like the corporate does. The corporate asks you, how much profit can you bring me? Why should I hire you? Can you make me $2 billion? How much could you make me? Can you make me? From your job position, obviously. What do you bring in this fucking company? Why should I hire you? That's all. They are for profit. And there are lots of other questions they obviously they ask, but it's very raw, very direct, very cold, very business for profit. And we stay there and wonder, why are they always there and we are always fucked? This is a number one thing. They are for profit as a business is. They are not a charity as the majority considers it is business. Business is not a charity. Business is for profit. You are there to make money. You are not there just to invest and then to see from where you loan money, from where you ask a friend to loan money, or banks, or whatever the fuck that will drain you more and lose even what you have stacked as wealth from your past, whatever. They know how to do business. And how do they keep things going in instability, in chaotic markets, economy? How come they reposition themselves? They know how to play the game. They don't let the game play them. They have staff hired specifically for this. And you'll say, well, I can't afford the money, the capital, the budgets to do that. I'm a small entrepreneur. I'm a small potato. And I want to be like them, but I can't because I don't have the money for it. I would love to, but I don't have the money for it. So this is something that needs addressing, because you can be helped, but nobody does it. They don't want you to succeed. That's why I said wrong business models. No matter if they are a la carte, you are following all the fucking steps. However, you are going in the same fucking point of failure. You don't have stability even in good times, but in fucking chaotic times. Yeah, well, in this live, I said in the description that you learn, and by the way, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Andra Cristiana Stan, founder of Jak Vestil Business, the space where divine power meets raw entrepreneurship. Everything I talk about here, I live. You'll find all my transformation tools and trainings at Solutions, Jak Vestil Business Info. You have all links in the description box below. But for now, stay with me because what I'm about to say might just flip how you build forever. In this episode, I said that we will speak about 3 spiritual laws of stability that never fail, even when everything else does. How to turn chaos into creative capital and flow instead of fight. How to protect your business energy from fear, distraction, and noise. How to operate under divine timing so growth becomes inevitable, not forced. And this isn't business as usual. This is the empire mindset for those chosen to lead through instability. Well, the world is unstable, markets crash, rules change overnight, and fear sells faster than truth. But real entrepreneurs, the ones rooted in divine alignment, don't crumble, they rise. What really means to build and sustain divine anchored entrepreneurship in an era of global uncertainty. First of all, stop fucking waiting for outside help, like the state to change the laws for your business to be better. I have already explained the process of things changing from that perspective and finally helping you. You won't be helped by that. And frankly, as I've already said, it doesn't fucking matter the taxes if your business is up to par and making profit, right? If you're making money, I don't think you'll mind to give Caesar what's Caesar's, right? You don't care. Like, okay, I made my share. I've paid my dues inside the business, my staff, my operational costs, whatever costs I have. And I also have my salary, my dividends, and a portion of profit that I can reinvest in this business or to develop it further or to create new businesses, to start new businesses. Maybe I have new ideas. Maybe I want to start in new markets and so on. So you won't be pressured by giving Caesar's what's Caesar's. Yeah. However, when you do not have the money, your business is not making money, it's eating up all your fucking hard earned money. That's when you start seeing taxes as a fucking beast, a monster sucking, a fucking vampire draining you. First of all, stop going through the fear of what they say in the market. So first, spiritual law of stability. Don't give a fuck what they say about the fucking economy. You are you, they are they. This is the first fundamental thing to do. I don't give a fuck what the news says. I don't give a fuck what the social media yells. I don't give a fuck how many similar businesses in the same niche industry, whatever, as mine, when failing, when bankrupt, are out of the fucking market. I don't give a fuck. All right? So, no fucking fear. Even Einstein said, best ideas, best creations, best inventions come out of chaos in a chaotic time. And many others have said that. Second spiritual law of stability. Why am I doing this business? For the money? or for the core of it, the service it can bring to the people, and also it pays my living and my wants and my expansion and my everything. If you identify yourself as one with good intentions, you are making business not because it's a fucking hot cake on the market. Everybody does it. They make profit. And you started it because you want that profit as well. Then you have a problem. Because you are doing it with the chasing energy of making hot cake money. That's a fucking no-no. You need for that business to have the drive for it. No matter if you start businesses in several niches, like one in real estate, one in fucking constructions, one in, I don't know, beauty, another in fashion, another in pharmaceutics, and whatever the fuck else. Like, they don't relate one to another. But however, if you started that business because you want to serve the people, you are on the right track. However, if you haven't done that and you've done it only for the money, we have a problem. We have a fucking problem. Why? Let me drink some coffee. Why do you have a problem? When you create a business, sorry, we have some technical problems. So, when you create a business, and you have good intentions, you have the want to bring a service, product, or services and products to help the people, and also to provide for you and your family, no matter if you want to also be rich. That's not something bad. All right? It's not bad to want to be rich if it's on the good intentions ground. God gives you wealth, but on the right structure. So if you start a business on these right grounds, on a builder for yourself as a business legacy and for your family, and with your partners, for those of you who are partnering with other people, not family related, but other people, you are doing it for a legacy and also for the people. You get divine protection. All right? So this is another spiritual law of stability. That means you have been anointed to do that. God is with you. You had a good heart. Your heart was fucking crowned by divinity. That it's a good heart with good intentions, and you gain instant protection. At least first base protection, because God will see if you remained as pure intended, or, well, we know how things go for some people. We do not judge them, but we need to mention. So if you are doing business because you want to do good things for the community, for the people, for your state, for whatever, your country, your whatever it is, so you are not selfish, you are for profit. Attention, you are for profit, but also for the people. That's a very good hybrid combo to have stability. And this is the second spiritual law of stability that never fail. No matter how many flop around you in the same niche, no matter what the streets yell and scream, somehow you keep going further, no matter how fucking bankrupt you may seem as well. Ta-da! You get out of it through the fucking Red Sea that parts and lets you go through it without touching you. Imagine the tsunami waves from the fucking sea when they crossed the sea, when the sea parted, and what waves they were seeing. Wouldn't you be fucking scared? They weren't, and you shouldn't be as well. So think of that as being the screaming, those both sides of tsunami waves, big waves, but they don't crash on you. They are there. You hear it, you see it, you see them, you hear them, but you go on the path like on a fucking highway. So no matter what the street is screaming at you, the economy, the marketplace is screaming at you, you keep moving further because you do have protection. You are well intended and you are learning things. And in chaos, it is important to stay still and observe. And here is another thing that I want to discuss. What your business is about. This is what you do in your stillness moments. What is my business about? What industry? What its ideal client is? What ideal client, for those of you who do not know what the term means, who is your customer, your targeted customer? Who needs your product? Who needs your service? So what my business is about. Doesn't matter if you already know it, you ask yourself again, what's my business about? It's about this, that. Good. Is it working in these times? Still working? Not really. It's quite a struggle, to a hellish fucking struggle. Good. This is second step in your stillness of observing and thinking. Okay. Do I want to leave this industry or do I have a connection to it? I have something to offer. I still feel that I have something to offer in this industry. Or not? Not really. But don't think in that position of being tired. I don't give a fuck anymore. Nothing is working for me. Everything is fucking against me. Everybody's. Don't think like that. Think of your core, at your essence of doing business in the first place, and see if it's still there. Not what happened after, what drove you to start this business. That ground you need to think and check. Do you still have it in you? No matter the fucking storm of chaos hitting you in this current moment, if it's still there, don't leave that business. Don't close it. Don't shut it down. It needs a revamp. It needs a reposition. God is telling you, honey, you're not doing it wrong, but it's not upgraded to the current times and market. Market is dynamic, is changing, it's forever changing, but whatever the fuck. However, Your industry is not flopping. Your business is not flopping. Your products and services are not flopping. They need revamping. They need repositioning, maybe rebranding, making a different description, retargeting. Like a phoenix rising from its own fucking ashes. But that's valid for those of you who still feel connected, who still feel, I can do this. This is my business. This is something that I love to do. This is something that I know I can bring good stuff to the people, to my clients, to the ideal customer for my business. You need a repositioning. You need new outlets. You need new everything. So don't start, oh, it's done, it's finished. No. And you also need a hell of a internal reorganization and cutting off employees that have bad energy. I've also said that in previous lives. Bad energy, stagnant energy, envious eyes. Stop staffing yourself with staff just to hire. And another thing I want to recommend you to do is that you need to start learning some new skills. This is valid for certain of you that will see this video. You need to start learning some skills. Self-taught, don't go for, oh, I need to qualify. No, you don't need any fucking qualified stuff. You just need to start knowing some things. Obviously pertaining to your business, to your field. But the new stuff. Okay, and the third spiritual law of stability. Say no to the storm of chaos and apocalyptic thoughts going through your fucking head, giving you depression and anxiety. Cut them the fuck off. Those are not your thoughts. Those are not God's thoughts. That is not your inner fucking voice. Those thoughts are energetic voices. Let's say energetic. They are fucking demons, negative energies, entities to your fucking head, telling you shit about you and your business and whatever wrong scenarios and whatever bad things that happened or are to happen. Don't listen to them. This is a fundamental thing to think. Man, I don't care if you are a woman or a man. It's valid for both genders. Man, am I doing all this with good intentions? Yes. Have I done anything bad? No, not under my book. Maybe before God I've done, but I don't know. On my own terms and conditions and knowledge, I think I haven't done anything bad. But shit happened to me. Okay. Now you cut off those thoughts. You yell at them. Shut the fuck up. You are not God talking to me. And another thing they do, they have two ways to sabotage you: talking shit about you, so negative thought patterns, making it sound it's your own thoughts and thinking to make you depressed, to make you sabotage yourself, procrastinate, not do anything, like not taking action. Like, what the fuck am I taking action for anyways? I'm not gonna achieve anything. It's every time I do something, it's even fucking worse than good. I don't make I'm not making any fucking progress. I'm just stagnating and stacking up losses and stacking up whatever bad things each of you has. The other scenario that they are doing, they are flooding you with all the things that how would you say in a certain thing, in a certain scenario, in a certain environment, several lines of uh, what ideas. When you have these two frauds in your fucking brains, cut them off. They're not from God. And the third thing they do, giving you either nightmares or dreams, and you think it's from God. No, no. If a dream doesn't make you feel good and you feel drained after it, doesn't fucking give you peace, quiet, you don't see yourself fresh and alive and energized, it's not from God. It's just tactics from the other side to fuck you over spiritually, mentally, in your reality, to direct your everything. And you say, well, everything is going bad to worse. I'm trying, I'm hustling. I've put all those fucking ideas into practice. I haven't fucking dreamed of it. Yeah, you dreamed of it? Were you drained in energy, no matter how much you fucking slept? When you woke up from that dream, God fills you up. God gives you energy. God gives you youth, rejuvenates you, gives you fucking vigor. You don't wake up drained. You don't wake up confused. You don't wake up feeling threatened. Because you know the other side cannot give you good dreams, good feelings. They can only fucking take from you. They cannot give you anything. So stay still, observe, don't be afraid of anything. And learn from all the shut doors. Like, stay there and think, well, why did that door shut? Well, because I am fucking cursed. I am, everybody's against me. I am hustling, I'm trying to do something good and everybody goes against me. I cannot even fucking speak and they shut the door in front of me. No, honey, you are not fucking cursed. Nobody is against you. Think, oh, I don't care your religion. I don't care in what you fucking believe. With all due respect. It's only one high power, only one omnipotent, all powerful, omnipresent God, creator, and the hierarchy under him. All right? So it's not, no, the dark side, the bad fucking guys, unseen, they have power against me. No, they don't. Think of it like this. God has the power. Yeah? Yeah. If God has the entire power, even that fucking darkness, it's his creation. They fucking bow before him. He is the master and the only master. You are not cursed. Always think of it like this. If God let that happen to me, it's not because he went away from me. I'm not under his fucking protection anymore. It's not like he doesn't fucking love me anymore. It's something he wants me to see. They do not have power over God. And God is not bound by any fucking treaty or law. He only respects your free will. Free will meaning what you choose. Depression. What you choose. Full part of the cup or the empty part of the cup. He's the full part. The other side is the empty part. That's why when you are with God, you feel energized. You feel spiritually productive. Like no fucking mountain would stay before you because you would fucking crash it in two. And when the other side takes you over, you feel like I can do anything. I'm limited. I can't. Look. I don't have power. Everybody is against me. I'm fucking cursed. I don't know. Is it a generational curse? Have I done something to someone to offend someone? No, honey. If you truly know you didn't do anything and you are questioning things, it means that you, just a second. It means that you haven't done anything bad. Yeah, because if you know you haven't done anything bad, maybe you were saying something like, I'm doing foul language, said something out of anger in the moment, but you didn't mean it. God forgives you, especially when you have that remorse after it and say, well, I'm sorry, I have done it like that. I didn't want it to be like that, but I had a moment I didn't think of, and I didn't do anything more than that. And I even fucking apologized to that person. I took accountability for my action. You are okay. Even for those of you who have done bad fucking stuff, and you know, for those of you who have done this, and you took the purging side of things, you went through it, and you redeemed yourself. Like you are now at peace. You have balanced the fucking scales. You have balanced them. You are at peace. Like, I don't care anymore what anybody would say about me. I know I have a fucked up past. I know I have done some real bad fucking shit. But I'm now feeling healed, feeling at peace, feeling with God loving me. And I now realize that even then he fucking loved me, because if he wouldn't have loved me, I wouldn't be here in this moment. Feeling like this. He carried you, honey. He did. He healed you. And nobody, not even yourself. You didn't heal yourself. He healed you. All right? So as long as you know you haven't done anything bad, you are not cursed. All right? You are not cursed, jinxed, hexed. You cannot be cursed. You cannot be jinxed. You cannot be hexed. You cannot be spell worked. You cannot be anything when you are with God. All right? That's why you stay still. Why did, instead of complaining, why God, if you were with me, look, this shit wouldn't have happened to me. Why? Instead of this, you say, why did he allow this? Is it something? No, it isn't something. It is something I need to observe and learn. I need to see something. He wants me to see something. It's a key there in the fucking storm that he delivers me with. It's the fucking rainbow, not the LGBTQ rainbow. The true promise of God. The true rainbow. All right? So instead of complaining, think. Nobody overpowers God. Nobody puts a gatekeeping side before God. They bow before God with their foreheads down. For those of you spiritually advanced, you know what I'm fucking talking over here. You bow. You do not look at the same level. Your eyes go down. Take the fucking ground. And show respect before the true power. So, if that bad thing happened, it's something there you need to learn. As the New Age spiritualists and whatever say, it's a redirection, or you needed that information for something. It's not a closed door. It's not a bad thing. You are not going through the motions of anything bad. They have no fucking power. They are fucking illusionists. They are making illusions around you to scream at you and make it seem as your reality, like I'm fighting with my father, my mother, my husband, my wife, my sister, my brother, my fiance, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my nephew, my partners, my clients, my whatever the fuck happens, my grandparents, my everybody. Like everybody's fucking turned against me. I haven't done anything. Why? Like I am with the truth in my fucking hands and mouth and spirit, and they think that I'm lying, I am bad, I am whatever else it's happening. Because for each of you, it happens in different situations and from different angles. Stay still. Walk away. If you do not rest, you don't feel aligned with the energy in that environment, nothing is against you. You are not aligned to that. They are not aligned with you, not you to them. They are not aligned to you. And you need to step the fuck up and get out. You need new environments. This is business as well. Going back to business. Realignment, rebranding, repositioning, retargeting, remodeling, adapting. Well, I can't fucking adapt all the time. I have 1,000 fucking products to make descriptions for 1,000 fucking products. 1,000 products. That would be every month. What the fuck? I don't have the money for it all the time. Well, you need strategies, automatizations, and different types of workflows. So don't consider the outside environment. Outside environment, including your outside, the outside of your internal environment. Don't consider it. Don't consider it your mind. The crown chakra is fucking fucked up all the time. They hit you in all the chakras, they hit you, but first they need to, the main parts are throat chakra, crown chakra first, throat chakra, and sacral chakra. These are the three basic elements they attack you through. But the crown chakra being the most. And you're fuck. Yeah. So don't listen to that. Not even external, not internal, not anything. You focus and stay still. God is not against you. God is with you. Are you still breathing? Are you still fucking functioning? Do you still have a lucid mind and can think for yourself? You have that I still am here. I'm not fucking mental. Yeah, I'm okay. He is with me. I have his breath. And another thing that I want to bring awareness on is that you do not have a fucking soul. You have the breath of God in you. You are not a soul or spirit. You are the breath of God in you. So as long as you breathe, pay attention. As long as you breathe, no matter your internal or external situations, as long as you fucking breathe, God is with you. And he wants you to do things yet aligned to his agenda, not the dark agenda. Okay. How to turn chaos into creative capital and flow. I don't know how long we are in the live. How long? 1 hour. Okay. We are good. So how to turn chaos into creative capital and flow instead of fight? Well, I've already said some things about this. Let's reiterate. Stay still and look at the market, in the market. What are now the consumers lacking and your business could bring them? What could you bring to the now needs of the market? And that needs to be done fast. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just the first prototype. Just fucking launch it. Or see if you have products and or services that already cater to that now need of the market. Rebrand them. Put them out now. They don't need to be polished. It's your first draft. Launch it. Version 1, then you polish it a bit, version 2, and so fucking on. All right? So this is what you need to do, but I've already said lots of how to turn chaos into creative capital. In chaos, you get key. In the storm, you get keys, then you get the calm, and then you get the rainbow. This is the flow. How to protect your business energy from fear, distraction, and noise. I've already tapped into this. Don't give a fuck. Don't let it touch you. Don't let it touch you. Don't let it touch your mind. They go through your ears. You say it's not from God. They go through your mind, through thoughts and through whatever else. It's not from God. They make you anxious, suffocating you. It's not from God. God is with you. Against all of this on you, He is with you. Remember, even if it's you are still breathing, it's not. All right? I'm a bit cryptic with some things because some things you need to yourself with God. So don't let fear, don't let noise, don't let anything around you control, dominate you. Stay still, observe, find the keys for your own situation. Because honey, if you are on the wrong ground, on the wrong intentions, on the bad intentions, just making profit no matter if you walk on fucking corpses, you won't find them. And you will bring divine fury against you. And it's fast, it's not like it was before. We are in the era of Aquarius. In the era of Pisces, things were flowing easier. A Pisces. Floating. Water cycle. Not that fast. It can be still at times. Aquarius era. Thunderbolt. It's like a laser gunshot. Karma, it's that fast. How to operate under divine timing so growth becomes inevitable, not forced. I've already said it. Stay still. See the opportunities from the shut so bad doors to your face. Like, what the? What does he want me to observe, note, and see? They don't have any fucking power against me. That's why he says, no weapon can be formed against you, nor it can fucking prosper. See what it is needed to see. Not the monster. He doesn't want you to see the chaos, the darkness, the monster in that situation, that bad situation. He wants you to see the stillness, the calmness, and the promised rainbow. Abundance, solutions, overflowing, everything good. So, divine timing is how fast can you see that under a storm? Chill, Calm down. Calm your mind. Stop fucking crying and complaining. Why me? It's not you. It's a test. He allows you to be tested, but they do not allow them to hurt you, to jinx you, to curse you, to whatever. Yeah, but I did that and that happened. He purifies you instantly, even if you were fucking raped. When you choose him, you are a fucking virgin again. Pure, illuminated, a fucking angel. Right? It's up to him. However, what do you choose? How do you want it to be? The empty side of the cup? Darkness, emptiness, scarcity, draining, aging, or the full cup of the full part of the cup, God Himself. Find me, and everything shall be added. I am the God of impossible made possible. I am not limited as you are. I am the ultimate power. You are power what? And for my dear friends, honey, you can threaten me with anything you want. Yet your forehead will go down. So this isn't business as usual. We are doing new business here. Business owners and the people wanting to conduct business and businesses, no matter if you are a business owner, a freelancer, in a leading position, in a corporate, in a whatever, a professional, you need the modern update things to play the game. If you stay in the old tactics, the old structures, though that's called business models, of course you flop. It's not your fault. You are not playing the right game. It's like you want to play a Cinderella fairy tale game, and instead it's, I don't know, Mortal Kombat. But you want Cinderella game and you are playing Mortal Kombat. But you want Cinderella, but you are playing Mortal Kombat. It's, see? So the new business is doing business not as usual. The new way. New world order. For the people, through the people, with the people. They screamed. I heard. And you are fucked. All right, my loves, this is the empire mindset for those chosen to lead through instability. I'm glad that I was able to hold this new live. I'm sure for the right chosen minds that God wanted this free gift from Him to come to those chosen and help. It's gonna be lucrative, beneficial, and so much weighted. And we shall see each other in next lives. I only do lives. I won't do. I just clip on the other side on the videos. It's only from the lives. The new content will always be in the lives. So the lives is the first lane of information. The other videos are clips from the lives. And if today woke something up in you, protect that fire. Go check the tools that keep your line protected and in full divine flow. You have all the links in the description box below. However, I'm glad that I could help you through this live and through each live. Remember that you can join the Telegram channel for Yagve Seal Business. I already have some things there for you, like some, let's say, mantras. It's like decrease and how to think of stuff, and of course promoting some of our products. But it's a good communication, instant communication. I will work on it. I have said at the beginning that I have had a period of only backstage working, and I needed some restoring as well as a person. I needed some resting and me time, and it was well welcomed and deserved from my daddy, my holy daddy. Deserved because he said I have been deserving it, not because I said so. Anyways, and another direct way or outlet of communication is our Substack newsletter. You also have the link there. Our website. We also have yagvesealbusiness.info. The solutions.yagvesealbusiness.info is where the shop is, and the blog, the main website with yagvesealbusiness.info. It's a bit on the second place because I am rearranging some stuff, and a lot of new things will come. I had to reorganize a lot of things because, as I have said, I have been doing some research on social media and many other things, and that takes time. And I also had other stuff, business wise, clients and such, and it's coming. It's with the coming soon tag. Plus, I am starting other projects as well. So yeah, that's why. However, soon I am going to reintroduce on Telegram some things to help you, to motivate you, to have a periodical boost from Yagve Steel Business, and a lot of good things to come. A lot of good things to come. And another thing, honey, no matter who you are listening to this, with God helping you see this, because it is for you, don't be afraid. and don't put your fucking head down. New Testament, God wants us on the Old Testament, warrior and fire, because he has stepped down from his throne, jumped on the horse, and he is in his greatest warrior armor and action. All right? We don't need lambs to be sacrificed. It's time to fight. Keep yourself without fear and keep in touch with your true God, true Creator. Say to him, I don't know what is your true name. Is it Christ, Buddha, Allah, whatever? I am calling to you, true Creator of all. With you, I recognize, I love, and want guidance from. And then you go from there. For each of you is individual needs, wants, and stuff you need to talk with God. And talk with him, not through prayer. He loads prayer, especially from textbooks, prayer books. Speak with your own fucking words. Stop praying. No. He is. Start acting like it. Speak to him like you would speak with your best friend. He doesn't need or want your fucking prayers. He wants a conversation with you. And he will answer faster than through prayers. Prayers, he keeps them like readers to be read soon titles. Those are prayers. Because he said, you still don't know me? You still didn't realize who I am? Who am I? Speak to me. Have a dialogue with me. Speak. I gave you throat, speech. You can talk. Speak! All right, loves. See you in the next one. We shall see when it is, because I have lots of things to do. But I always let myself, of course, guided by Father, by God, when to do stuff. Every time I wanted to be on a plan, on a strategic content planning and whatever else, I got fucked. I couldn't keep it from because of a situation or another. It's not because I didn't want to do it. It's not because I'm a very meticulous person, very organized and very dedicated to do stuff. However, when he says no, is no. And it's quite a while now since I have started to listen to true God guidance. Stay still observe, let me handle the stuff, and I'll tell you when to do it. Simple. Take note. Okay, loves, great seeing you. Hope it was good for you. For those of you listening to this, no matter when you will listen to this, it's timeless. All right? And see you in the next one, whenever that will be. Bye.